Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between two towering mountains, there lived a poor but kind-hearted young man named Tafara. Tafara was known throughout the village for his generosity, though he had very little. He would share the little food he had, help his neighbors with their chores, and always had a smile on his face. Despite his hardships, his heart was full of love for the people around him. One dry season, a terrible drought fell upon the land. The rivers shriveled, the crops withered, and famine swept through the village. Tafara, like many others, was left with nothing to eat. As the days passed, the people grew desperate, and the once joyful village was filled with hunger and despair. One evening, Tafara wandered deep into the forest in search of food, though he knew it was unlikely to find anything in the drought. He walked and walked until he could barely keep his legs moving. Just as he was about to collapse, he came across a huge tree unlike any he had ever seen before. Its leaves were lush and green, and its fruits glistened as though they were made of gold. Tafara could hardly believe his eyes. The tree seemed to glow under the soft moonlight, and Tafara could feel a strange energy emanating from it. He reached out and touched the bark, and instantly the tree spoke to him. "You are a good and kind man, Tafara. I will grant you one wish," said the tree, its voice soft but powerful, echoing through the silent forest. "But beware. What you ask for must be chosen wisely." Tafara was overwhelmed. He could wish for riches, for power, for anything his heart desired. But as he looked at the tree's golden fruits, he thought of his village, his people, and their suffering. After a long pause, Tafara finally spoke. "I wish for enough food to feed my village until the drought ends." The tree swayed gently, and with a creak of its massive branches, golden fruits began to fall to the ground one by one. As they hit the earth, they transformed into baskets overflowing with food: yams, maize, beans, and meat. There was enough to feed the entire village for months. "Take this food back to your people," the tree said, "but remember, kindness must always prevail." Tafara gathered as much as he could and rushed back to the village. The villagers were astonished to see the bounty he had brought. They celebrated and praised him, feasting until their bellies were full. Tafara told them about the magic tree and its warning: to share the bounty with love and generosity. Days passed, and the village prospered once again. But soon, greed crept into the hearts of some villagers. They started taking more than they needed, hoarding the food in their homes. Those who were once kind began to fight over the baskets, demanding more from Tafara. No matter how much the tree provided, it was never enough for the greedy. Tafara, seeing the division growing in the village, returned to the magic tree. "Please," he begged, "the people have forgotten the lesson of generosity. What should I do?" The tree was silent for a long time, and then it spoke, its voice heavy with sorrow. "The greed of men is like a flame that consumes everything in its path. You cannot control their hearts, Tafara. But I will give you one last gift to remind them of the power of kindness." The next morning, Tafara awoke to find that the magic tree had vanished. In its place stood a small, delicate sapling. The villagers were horrified. Without the magic tree, their source of food was gone. Panic spread like wildfire, and they rushed to Tafara, begging him to make the tree return. But Tafara knew what the tree had left behind. He called the villagers together and explained, "The magic tree is gone because we allowed greed to take root in our hearts. But this sapling is a symbol of a new beginning. If we nurture it with kindness and generosity, it will grow into something even greater than before. Humbled by Tafara's words, the villagers began to change. They shared what little they had left and helped one another. Slowly, the sapling began to grow, and in time, it became a tree even more magnificent than the first, bearing fruits that never ran out, as long as they were shared with love. And so, Tafara's village flourished once again, not because of magic, but because of the kindness they had rediscovered in their hearts. The magic tree had given them more than just food. It had shown them the true power of unity, compassion, and generosity. From that day on, the people of Tafara's village never forgot the lesson of the magic tree, and they lived in peace and prosperity for generations to come. This story carries a powerful message about the dangers of greed and the importance of generosity and unity. It reminds us that the greatest magic is the kindness we share with others.